How are y'all doing today? So, there's a couple things I wanted to talk to y'all about. So, Anyways, one of the local representatives from my hometown made a disgusting comment. Her and her husband constantly run for the same spot. Once one other's term runs out, I guess so no one else can have the spot. Anyways, Julie Mayberry, a Republican, she had made the comment that women should be forced to go through their pregnancy, even if the baby cannot survive outside the womb, just so they can use their organs to donate or whatever. And nobody should be forced to go to term when they know the child is not going to survive, especially, it's just sad that some people think they can control other people's bodies, and that's just not right, and she made another disgusting comment, and the whole conversation about abortion. I will never understand the mindset of these Republican women. And anyways, so she's not a very good representative, honestly. I thought her and her husband were good people when I lived there, and apparently not, because she won't even reply to any of her constituents' emails or anything. So I really hope that we can find somebody to run against those two and, make some positive change for that community, because they're really suffering. And I drove through that general area the other day, and it was so heartbreaking to me that to see everything so run down. It's just wow, everyone going out into business over there, and things just look like it's just, they haven't got any help. And anyways, I just want to talk to y'all today about a little personal experience of mine. That was somewhere I really had a lot of hope for, honestly, in the little community of East End, which is Saline County. I don't know if y'all were following me last year, whenever we attempted to do a Black Lives Matter protest out there to spread the love and message about equality in my hometown, because that's really somewhere that's in my heart, because that's where I grew up my whole life, up until a couple years ago when I moved to Little Rock. Or last year I moved to Little Rock, but I had been living between a couple different places. Anyways, so we had tried to go down to East End to have a protest. One of the locals from a town over actually had asked me to do an interview with them about our upcoming protest, and to see what my vision was and what our ideas were about our protest, because a lot of people were scared that we were going to come and destroy the town because of a lot of lies that were spread, the basic lies about BLM. But we had previously already had 2 or 3 protests in the Sheridan, which is in the same school district as East End. So we had really great responses, honestly, from those couple of protests that we had, and we really had a good time, of course, and get our messages across. We had some guest speakers from people that I really looked up to and inspired me, and so we had went and I wanted to do one in my hometown. We had a couple different locations we thought about going, because one of my friends had just suggested that they really wanted to have one in our city that we had went to high school in, and I really thought that was a really good idea. So my whole role was planning out, making an event page and inviting everyone I know on my social medias, and it was really good. And we had dancing, we had singing, of course, and we had our speakers that really put their life stories out there and their experiences and what they've learned through the movement and through their lives and their experiences with racism in Arkansas. And we decided to bring that to my hometown of East End in Saline County. And I never expected it to get so much attention, honestly, from such a small little community. But different little communities nearby, cities and towns, had gotten the word about this protest, and a lot of people that were either misinformed or just plain old racist really trying to attack our vision on the protest, saying that we were going to tear down stuff, tear up a cemetery even. Wow, who would even come up with the thing of mess up a cemetery? I was totally planning on going to a public park actually had reached out to the local fire department because East End doesn't have their own police department. However, they do have to deal with Saline County Sheriff Department and the state troopers because their main roadway that goes through there is a state highway. So we have to deal with the state troopers, and you know those can be more corrupt than the actual city police officers. So I reached out to the local fire department because they do a lot of the local events there, and I just wanted to see what their input is on like what ideas we could do involving a protest and coming together event. So they said they couldn't get involved because they're not allowed to get involved in politics. I'm sorry, y'all, but human lives are not politics. It's not a game. These are people's lives. People's lives, they lose their lives sleeping in their bed, walking down home from the grocery store. Lots of different incidents. People die just because of who they are and how they look. And it's not okay. Anyways, but I was like, okay, you know, that's fine, whatever. And they called me back and just wanted to know my plans, and they just wanted to forward my message to the local, you know, the Saline County Police and the state troopers. And so I was like, that's fine, you know. So I had did my interview, and I had walked up after my interview, or during my interview, some random person on a live news feed of the interviewer had come up to me and said to me basically that I didn't answer his question and that I was like acting like a politician, avoiding questions. And I was like, no sir, you know, I am not going to make up lies. I'm not going to lie and say I know something. I can't answer you if I'm not educated on a subject. That's one thing that keeps me different from those Republicans or whoever out there that just makes up stuff whenever they're asked questions. I don't make stuff up. I don't even do that at my job. I literally am like, I'm sorry, I don't really know this answer. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. That's just not me. I'm sorry. I'm a real one, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or make stuff up. So anyways, I don't know. This person was just really hostile toward me during the whole interview. You know, I tried answering a couple questions that I knew about, but, you know, I was just mostly just letting people know that we were doing this, and this is what I had thought of, and this is what I had planned. So we did our thing, you know, and anyways, I ended up actually being a little late for work because I really was trying to be respectful and finish this person's questionnaire. So anyways, I had left that day, you know, disappointed that a random person just walked up to me in the middle of the woods. I was like, I don't feel very safe being around just someone just walking up on me like that. I was like, literally like, kind of nervous, like I was like about to get attacked or something. You know, I don't know. It's just we were in the middle of the woods on a picnic table, just sitting there, and some random person just walking toward me, like really uneasy about that. But I was like, no, I'm just gonna give this person the benefit of the doubt and speak with them like, hey, how are you? You know, like that's just who I am. But anyways, that finished that. I went to work, and then my friend actually had agreed to do an interview with the same person, and I warned this person about the interviewer and the scenario that I was put in, but he still had a lot of courage, and I respect him for that, and decided to do an interview as well. Well, apparently he had gotten a lot of death threats afterwards from a lot of commenters on the interviewer's page, so he was really afraid, and because they apparently targeted him and his family, and he has kids and a wife, so he was really upset about that, and he expressed the concern for our event that we were planning on having. So I had also talked it over with a friend, and we decided to cancel it because we didn't want anybody getting shot or, you know, any lives in danger because of it, you know. And I was like really heartbroken, honestly. But a woman from my hometown, she actually lives a community over. She had really shown her support, and she went out and put signs saying racism is not welcome here, love, something about spread love, not hate. She's put signs all over East End, neighboring communities of Sardis. And it was just really inspirational. And she told me that she would be out there regardless of anybody any haters, she's gonna be there at that protest, even if she has to be on this corner of the street by herself with her own signs. And to me, that was really inspirational, because those are the kind of people that I look up to, and they inspire me to want to do better for Arkansas and just little communities, even rural Arkansas, which is where that town is, that little community of mine, hometown. So a couple of people had reached out to me after that incident. I had actually went myself and took some photos of the signs she had put out, because I just wanted to see it in person myself. It just really made me really happy and proud that I really had people, you know, in nearby that really had a positive vision for the future. So I went out and took pictures of it myself and wanted to see it, you know. And she encouraged me to still want to do something, even if we canceled the big protest with our speakers and dancing and singing and our good time that we always have. Every time we have a protest, we always have a good time. That's something that we, you know, have always done when we have our events. I've never been the kind of person to have anything other than a peaceful event. You know, I know that people have their own visions of things, but, you know, I just want to get a positive message out there. That's just me. I know other people have their own vision for things, but anyways, so I had got together with a couple of people from my hometown, and we still decided that we would end up having a basically like a parade in our vehicles. So we got our signs and we taped them to our cars. Some people had the bumper stickers, and we drove in a little I don't know the word, procession, something like that, downtown, like a parade. And we went by a couple times, and then one of the girls, she really just wanted to make a pit stop at the park where we were originally going to have our protest, and ended up being not a good idea, because literally there were like all these people just in Dollar General parking lot and Williams Automotive just waiting, and we actually waited like an hour later than our protest was originally supposed to start before we went out there, because I really didn't want to like have to deal with confrontation. I'm not the kind of guy that really likes to deal with a lot of confrontation. I will always avoid that at all costs. So we waited a while, but they were still out there, you know, not as many people, but the interviewer was actually there videoing, talking live on live Facebook. So one of the girls ended up going down that road and was like, you know, let's just get out and hold up some signs for a little bit, maybe do a little dance or something. But as soon as we got out there, we didn't even get a chance to get out any signs or anything really, before all of a sudden the interviewer person and the bunch of other people that were with him basically came up to us and started harassing us, like saying that one of them said we tried to run them over, because literally whenever one of the girls was trying to turn onto the road to go to that park, he stood in the middle of the road, like trying to block us from going forward, and we had to literally swerve around him to avoid hitting him, because he was in the middle of Highway 367, Arch Street, the main road that I was telling you about, that's a state highway. So this whole group started walking towards us like, why you trying to run him over? You know, we weren't trying to run nobody over. We were literally like just trying to get out and you know, just say that, basically hold our signs up and, you know, make an appearance, I guess. So anyways, a bunch of guys ended up coming up to us, and they had guns, and we had a couple younger people with us, like a teenage girl. Maybe she was fairly young in her teens, I would say, and she started crying after she saw them pull the guns out, honestly, and I would have too if I was her age. You know, it was really a frightening experience. So my friend called me nervous and afraid for our safety, and was like, y'all need to get out of there. So I was like, guys, let's just get out of here. I don't want to, you know, have to deal with these people. I don't do confrontation. So we ended up we ended up trying to leave, get in the car and leave, because I wasn't about to argue with nobody or like trying to fight somebody just because they didn't like the fact that we were there and in my hometown where I grew up my whole life. you know, and with a bunch of other people that lived in that community, including another friend of mine. I think I had one friend that was in Little Rock, and the rest of them were for local people. So, anyways, so we tried to get in the vehicle to leave, and these people literally were like holding, but they were still holding their guns like toward us, and two guys got in front of us and blocked us off and said we weren't allowed to leave, and that the cops were on their way. And they were basically, and my friend luckily was smart and called the cops when he saw the little girl crying about the gun situation. So the cops were on their way, and to make sure nothing happened with these folks. So anyways, thankfully the police showed up, and you know, my friends were in the meantime like freaking out, like trying to get out of there, like get away from my car. You know, I'm trying to leave. It's illegal. Y'all not allowed to hold us hostage. That's what it basically was. We were getting held hostage. Guns in front of us, people standing in front of our car saying we couldn't leave. It was a really scary experience, honestly, and I still like don't necessarily feel comfortable when I go to that little area because of that incident, you know, and that's wrong. This is America, y'all. We have the constitutional right to assemble and protest against current events. It's just our national, that's a constitutional right. These same people that say, oh, they're going to take our guns away, it's our constitutional right, those same people infringed on my constitutional rights, our First Amendment rights, to speak out on public events, like public things that are going on in the world. BLM is a movement that was the main thing going on at the time. So these people attacked my constitutional rights and my friend's constitutional rights. So, and put our lives in danger with the guns and the whole blocking our cars. You know, I mean, anything could happen if the cops wouldn't have showed up. There's no telling. You know, and it was just for standing up for equal rights for all. Like, how is that? This is 2020 or 21 now, but I'm saying it was 2020. It is way time for all this hatred and division to end. That's why I wanted to have the event, to educate folks on what the movement is really about. Not what you see on TV or what these Republican liars say. It's just about what is really going on. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant, y'all. I just wanted to talk to y'all and let y'all know a little experience of some things that I've went through recently and in the past year. And it's something that occurred, and that kind of stuff is what encourages me to run for office. Because if you can't even exercise your constitutional rights, there's something wrong. We got to make some positive change one way or another. That's what the whole BLM movement influenced me to do. You know, it really encouraged me to get involved in politics and just staying involved in the state, you know. But I'm gonna go get me some coffee and go back to work. I just wanted to talk to y'all today about some personal experience I had to go through, and you know, what encourages me to run for office possibly in the future. I want to make things better for our state. I don't think that should be okay in the year 2021 or anywhere in the future. I want to see positive change. I want to educate folks, you know, on matters. I don't want people being lied to. You know, I know there's always going to be people that lie, but it's just sad, the reaction that we got to doing something positive, bringing about a positive event. You know, I just don't get it. I'll never understand, but you know what? I'm going to do my part and do as much as I can to help out, you know. I may not be perfect, nobody is, but you know, I try at least to bring about positive change. I mean, there's a lot I got to learn still, I'm sure, but I mean, I do my best, guys. If y'all have any things or comments or anything, just let me know, message me. I guess that's it. Y'all have a good day. Bye.